Paddington 2 is the cutest movie of 2017. It is wholesome, it is family fun, it is cinematic and exciting and daring and just a delight to behold. We open in the past with two bears sitting on a bridge in the jungle, and they're eating marmalade sandwiches and discussing about how much they look forward to moving to London and all the fun things they're going to do there. When suddenly we see a bear cub in the river below them, fighting against the current, and it's just a dangerous scene, you know, like this bear and this racing river that's going over the edge of a waterfall. We're right in it. We're ready to go with action. And the bears on the bridge notice, and they're like, the lady bear is like, help me down, I gotta catch this bear cub. And so they're hanging from this bridge, they're catching this bear cub out of the river, and it's like such a close call. You think all three bears just went over the waterfall, and then they do a big wide shot and they're just dangling from this bridge. And then the lady bear is like, London will have to wait, we have more important things to do. What an opening! What an opening! 1, showing off this animal CGI. 2, already in there with the family values. 3, we already know it's going to be an intense action movie. And we've got character background. We know where Paddington's from. We knew how he grew up as a little kid. Sort of. We learned where he came from as a little kid in this jungle. We learned how his adoptive bear parents found him. We learned why he wanted to go to London. Wow! Okay, and that's just the beginning. So now we're moving on. We're in present day when Paddington's in London, and he has already established himself as like this adorable little guy just who makes everybody's day better. He's at a breakfast table with his found family of humans in London, and they're all like getting ready for the day. We got some background on the characters, like we got a son and a daughter and a mom and a dad in this family. We're hearing that Paddington's friend at the antique store just got in a big shipment of cool new things. And Paddington's like, well, my aunt's birthday's coming up, and maybe they'll have something that I can give her for her birthday. And he calls his adoptive bear mother his aunt. Just by the way, just a side note. So then he heads over to the antique store, and he's talking to his friend. He's looking around at all the cool stuff, and Paddington's explaining that this gift is very important to him because his aunt means a lot to him. And so he finds this pop-up book of all the landmarks in London, and it's very elaborate and intricate. It's a very beautiful pop-up book, and Paddington's like, this is perfect. My aunt's always wanted to go to London and never could. This'll be like she's there. And then the antique shop owner is explaining that this book was made by a circus performer, a very famous, talented circus performer who would make pop-up books of every location she visited to remember them by. And so, because they're so unique, they are very expensive, and Paddington only has 1 coin. He can't afford the book.
I'm going to get a job and buy that book.
Paddington goes about getting jobs. His first job is at a barber shop, but he's not very good at it because he's just a little bear. He's pretty clumsy, and he's just like a little kid. He doesn't really know anything. His job is just to sweep up, right? He's waiting for the barber to come in, but this customer comes in. He demands a haircut right now. He's not paying attention, like who's going to do it. He's just like, I'm in a hurry. Paddington, you will cut my hair. He doesn't know his name, but I mean, like, you work here, you'll do it. And then he's like, okay, if you say so, you know, like, I'm not the barber, but it's okay. And one big thing about Paddington is he loves marmalade, so that comes up throughout the movie. So Paddington is trying his best with the razor, like this electric razor, to get this guy a haircut. He really has no idea what he's doing. Elaborate hijinks ensue where, like, he gets tangled in a wire, and he he accidentally shaves part of the guy's head, and then he tries to glue his hair back on with marmalade, and of course that doesn't go well. The barber walks in right after all this mess happens. Like, sprinklers are going off and fires and everything crazy, and then this guy's bald now, and then the barber fires him on the spot. He's like, ah, man. So that's not gonna work. So later that day, we see the family, Paddington's little adoptive family, and they're going to the carnival. Boy, howdy, it's a beautiful carnival. You know, like, this movie, if you thought the river scene was exciting, well, check out this thing. It's like dazzling, it's like glowing, like beautiful golden lights, just an expansive, beautiful carnival. And we find out that this carnival has been like tradition forever, that was kind of set up by like these carnival circus performers. And Paddington's kind of bummed out because, you know, he really wants to get that pop-up book, and he's trying to figure out how. Then we are introduced to a new character. He is a washed up actor that does dog food commercials now, and the host family doesn't like him because he's not very friendly, even though he's their neighbor, and all kinds of things like that. So the actor is opening the carnival and asking for somebody to come up and help him start off the festivities. And then Paddington, you know, raises his hand. The actor's like, okay, yeah, come on up. He's like, a bear? That's weird. Yeah, sure, a bear. The bear will tell us what his wish is. Paddington is like, so my wish is to buy this pop-up book of London for my aunt's birthday. That's what I really want. I want enough money to buy that book. And then the actor's like, well, we can't do that because it's a carnival. But tell me more about this book. And he's like,
Do you know it?
I know of it, but I was led to believe it was lost. Where on earth did you find it?
Oh, at Mr. Gruber's antique shop.
it's too expensive for me to buy. And then the actor's like, well, what I always say is that, you know, hard work pays off.
No, I imagine you just have to start at the bottom of the ladder and work your way up.
And then Paddington's like, oh, you gave me an idea. I guess I'm gonna go get a job.
I'm going to be a window cleaner.
And then the actor's like, yeah, you do that. He's like, anyway, the carnival's open. That's important. Not the carnival being open, but that interaction. It's important. Okay, so then he goes and gets a new job, and he decides to be a window washer. You know, London has very tall buildings, and he has this adorable little moment where he's trying to pull his wash bucket up to the tall windows, but he's not strong enough, and he like creates a little pulley system, but then it just, you know, he falls or the bucket falls or then whatever, and it just doesn't work out. Like, he gets all soggy and then realizes like he's a fuzzy bear and he can just like wash the windows because he's fuzzy. So then he's washing all the windows of his neighbors that we've established all love him in the very beginning when he's riding around town, and they're all just delighted to see him. Then he arrives at one person's house who's like, go away, I don't want my windows clean, I'm not gonna pay you. And then Paddington's like, well, I'll just do it anyway. And so he goes up and cleans all the windows, and we see that they haven't been cleaned in a very long time, and they're like all muddy, and the light doesn't even come into the guy's apartment. And so Paddington washes the windows, and we see the beams of light start shining on the guy's face. And he looks out the window down to the street and sees like this kiosk saleswoman, and he waves to her and she waves back. It's just so cute. It's like Paddington's bringing the whole town together. It's so cute. He's so generous and kind, and even though like you know, he's kind of bumbling, but he's resilient, and he all he wants is to make people happy. So he's earning money with his window washing business, and so we see like the money piling up in a jar in his room. Paddington goes into the store looking for the antique shop owner, and he sees this crime taking place, and so Paddington chases the guy down the road to try to stop him, but then he disappears in a puff of smoke, and Paddington is like, what the heck? And he disappears right in front of the actor's apartment. So, if we didn't know it was the actor, like, we know it's the actor, we can see his face, but the audience is the only one that knows. So, the cops come up and talk to Paddington. They're like, you're under arrest because you robbed that store. And then he's like, I didn't rob the store, I was chasing the guy that was robbing the store. And then the cop's like, oh yeah, well, where is he now? And he's like, he disappeared in a puff of smoke. And of course the cop doesn't believe him, and so then Paddington has to go to court. Everybody's getting testimonies against him. And the antique shop owner was like, yeah, he had his eye on the book, but he had a job and he was trying to pay for it, so I don't see why he would steal it, you know, like, we're friends, he's a good bear. And since the guy disappeared right in front of the actor's apartment, the other people who live around there, they were being interviewed about what they saw, and they're like, did you see a guy, you know, dressed like this, like he had like a big beard and like baggy clothes, and he was holding the book? And like Paddington's description of him, have you seen this man, you know? And then the actor's like, no, I have not seen anybody like that, I just saw Paddington there. But everybody's like, I don't see why Paddington could do this, but like, you know, wrong place, buddy, like, you know, he did really want that book. I don't know why he would just steal it, but they didn't have enough evidence to exonerate him, so Paddington gets sent off to prison. He goes to jail. And in jail, he's very polite, but all the inmates are very mean. They're in the lunchroom eating bad food and everybody's upset. They're like, this food sucks.
I think Coolsville sucks.
And Paddington's like, this food sucks, maybe we should talk to the chef. And then everybody's like, you can't talk to the chef. Knuckles will kill you. But one guy's like, yeah. One guy's annoyed with Paddington, and he's like, yeah, you should go talk to Knuckles. You should tell him exactly what you think of the food. Tell him all about it, about how it's bland and icky and how you want something else. Yeah, go tell him that. And Paddington's very naive and trusting, and he's like, okay, sure, I'll go talk to him. Paddington goes up to the chef, Knuckles, and he's like, your food's bland and could use some flavor and some care. And then Knuckles is like, oh yeah? You don't like my food? And he's like, no, I would actually prefer something else. And then Knuckles is getting angrier and angrier and picks up Paddington by his shirt. Paddington's little jail hat falls off and there's a marmalade sandwich under his hat. And Knuckles tries it and he's like, what is this? This is amazing. Can you make this? Can you show me how to make this? And then Paddington's like, yeah, sure I can. The next day, Paddington goes up to help the cook make breakfast, make marmalade sandwiches, and the cook is not helping at all. He's just kind of sitting there like reading a book, and Paddington's like, actually I could use a hand. And then the chef's like, do it or else. Paddington is always telling lessons that he learns from his aunt about like being polite and kind and sharing and being generous. He's like, well, my aunt always says you should always lend a helping hand. And then the chef is like, well, your aunt sounds stupid. And then Paddington is like, nobody talks about my aunt that way. And then he stares him down and he's like, and then the chef starts getting scared and he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he's like, it's a stern stare I learned from my aunt. Like, and then he like softens and he's like, see? Don't do stuff like that. Don't say bad things about people. Like, that's mean. It's so cute. It's just like he's not threatening. He's just like very stern. He's like, you will not say that about my aunt. And then the chef's like, oh boy, sorry. Yes, okay, I won't say any of those things about your aunt. And, okay, right, I'll help you out with the marmalade sandwiches. He's like, okay, great. So they need like tons and tons of oranges to make this marmalade. Knuckles is like, well, I've never been trained as a chef, so I don't think I'll be any good at it. And then Paddington's like, you're really strong. You look like you'd be great at squeezing oranges. And then he's like, aw, thank you. He's like, yeah, you can use your skills for things. You'd be great at making orange juice for the marmalade. And then Paddington teaches him how to make the full marmalade recipe, and then Knuckles is like softening and gaining confidence and learning like that he has value, and Paddington just is so caring and so just a delight. Then they serve the marmalade sandwiches and everybody in the prison loves them. So then Paddington has made some friends in jail. In the meantime, on the outside, the host family has put up the "Have you seen this man" poster to try to get Paddington out of jail because they believe Paddington and they believe that he would never steal that book. We see the actor at home and he's flipping through the pop-up book and finding these directions. There's like little clues on the pages, like an angel pointing to something, and then the actor goes to that location in a disguise and he's finding letters. So he writes down those letters at each location. We get a lot of fun, elaborate scenes of the actor getting in various disguises. He dresses up like a nun and he dresses up like other stuff. It sneaks into very scenic locations. We're like confused, right? Because we don't know what these letters mean, and neither does he. We think like maybe it'll spell out a word, but they, it's not like a literal word. It's like D, F, E, whatever. It's not spelling anything, so we don't know what this code means yet. The host family's thinking about it, the antique shop owner's thinking about it, and they're like, the antique shop is full of very expensive things. They could have stolen anything. Why would they steal the book? So the family's trying to get clues about this book. And so they go and talk to this fortune teller who is a relative of the person that made the book. The fortune teller is like, the circus performer is extremely famous and she had a huge fortune, but no clues to where it is. And then the host family is thinking, the mom is like, what if the book is like a treasure map to all of the circus performer's fortune? They kind of go on that lead. So then they start trying to like catch the actor at like the different locations of the book. Paddington and his friends are trying to break out of jail, and these are like coinciding, and they decide like they're going to meet at Paddington Station. But we kind of just miss each other, and Paddington hops on the train, and the actor's on the train getting the last clue put together. And the family's there too, and kind of, we learn that it's just little, but the son in the family is really into steam engines but won't admit it because they're not cool. But then the kid at the end drives the steam engine to like help save Paddington and help, get the pop-up book for him and stop the actor and all kinds of stuff. So the kid's driving the train with the family in it. They're catching up with the train with the actor and Paddington in it. And Paddington's trying to get the book from the actor. And we find out the code that was at all the locations of the pop-up book is notes. It's a musical progression. The actor's on a train and it's taking away the carnival from town. It's got like all of the carnival equipment, like all the booths and everything. And one of the booths is like this little piano, or it's a piano with an elaborate background, and it's like a big musical thingy. And the actor has figured out that the clues are a musical progression that you can play at this piano to open a booth and find the treasure. And Paddington's sneaking behind him, and he grabs the book from him. Then the thing closes, and he's like, no, I need the book back because I need the notes. I don't remember the notes. And then we have this crazy chase scene on the train. There's guns and chaos, and the whole family is helping Paddington. The actor is like a bad dude, and he pulls out like a real gun. It gets crazy. And then the train's barreling towards the edge of the cliff, and then Paddington's train car falls over the edge. Paddington's trapped in a train car, and then the mom goes and tries to save him, but he can't get out of the car because it's locked, and he's not strong enough to open it, and he can't get out, and then we think he's gonna die, and then his jail friends come through and help him out and save him and save the mom, and then everybody's okay. I don't know if I think he might have lost the pop-up book in the bottom of the ocean or the bottom of the lake or whatever they fell into, unfortunately. And Paddington's sick in bed, and he's like, man, I can't believe I missed my aunt's birthday, and I really wanted to give her something awesome, and I feel so bad. And then they're like, well, Paddington, we have a surprise for you. The mom is like, how we really wanted her to see London. And he's like, yeah, but the pop-up book though, and it's just not going to work out. And then they're like, we have something better than that. We all pitched in and we got our tickets, And then there's like a knock on the front door, and they're like, go see her. And then the movie ends with him just hugging his aunt who gets to finally visit London. And it's so cute, it's so wholesome, and everybody, it's just like a dazzling little tale about working together and family and just being like so nice and having that work out no matter what the circumstances are, because your friends are there and they're there to support you no matter what, because they love you, because you love them, and everybody just loves each other, and it's great and beautiful, and Paddington's so cute and so wholesome. And then the actor, he finally goes to jail for a burglary. But he's kind of okay in jail because he starts off and does like a theater program with everybody. And he's like, yeah, I guess all I wanted was to perform again and just have a nice time. So I'm kind of chill with this. So even he has a happy ending. It's just such a delight. Such a beautiful, beautiful movie. I cried throughout. Love happy tears. It's so cute. It's no wonder why everybody loves it and everybody says it's awesome, because it is. Just a delightful little video today. I hope you go see Paddington 2. I hope you don't, you don't have to go see it, but it's on streaming. It's on streaming because it came out in 2017. Just a hoot. Same director as Wonka. Same writer as Wonka. Good gracious. Oh man. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.